Shari. It's the polls haven't moved much at all since Kamala Harris took over as the Democratic nominee. But I still feel that there is what they're calling the shy Trump voter yet to appear, and they'll only appear after the ballots are counted on Tuesday. And at the moment, I think the polls are underestimating Donald Trump's vote,
as they have done in the past two elections. But there's also talk that Harris may be successful in Iowa. If that's the case, what does that mean for Trump and whether he would need to pick up more of the other blue wall states?
Look, I don't give much credence at all to that one-off poll. It's the trend that matters, and the constant trend is that the numbers are deadlocked in the key states. On Tuesday night, on election night, I'll be watching North Carolina very closely. That is a state that will come in pretty early with its results. But I just want to warn all of your viewers, who I'm sure are going to be glued to the TV, as you will be and everyone will be, on Wednesday, your time. It could take weeks for these results to come in. I just caution everyone that it's going to, unless there is a sweeping victory on Tuesday night, then it's going to take days, if not weeks, to get a result.
You've been speaking about the critical seats of Michigan and Pennsylvania. Well, there was a really fascinating report on CNN I just mentioned, and it's interesting in itself that CNN is even running this. But Harris speaking out of both sides of her mouth when it comes to the Middle East. She's running adverts in Michigan saying she's not going to be silent about the Palestinian suffering, and then running adverts in Pennsylvania that she's always supported Israel's right to defend itself. Does this show that this particular issue could shift votes in these critical seats? But also, what do you think it says about Harris that she can run campaigns like this? How can either side actually trust her?
Well, I mean, that's part of the issue. As people form a judgment about Harris, they're going to look at not only what she's promising, which I must say is very light on, but it's what she's done that is the issue. And she has been a part of the Biden administration. Currently, 73% of Americans feel that the country is heading in the wrong direction. Now, if you're an incumbent government anywhere with those sorts of numbers, you are finished. And the challenge that Kamala Harris has faced is she's trying to run as a new, fresh face, and yet she is part of the incumbency. And nothing illustrates it better than the fact that she is trying to walk both sides of the fence in relation to Israel and the war in Gaza and the war against Hezbollah. The fact is there are 400,000 crucial Islamic votes in Michigan. And if they choose not to vote, it's highly unlikely they will vote for Donald Trump, but he did reach out to them the other day. But if they choose not to vote, then that is going to cost Harris probably Michigan overall, and it may even lead to her losing the overall election.
Joe, do you think Kamala Harris has properly addressed concerns about how her administration would be different from the Biden administration, and also her flip-flopping positions over the years, whether it's on fracking, on prisoners transitioning, on taxpayer funds, on the Middle East? And in a sense, perhaps, is she lucky that she's had such a short campaign window, because the longer we go on, it seems like the honeymoon is fading?
Well, that's right. It actually has helped her to have a short campaign because she hasn't come under the sort of policy scrutiny that Donald Trump or Joe Biden or most other candidates would have faced. At the moment, if you were to ask the average voter, what is Kamala Harris's tax policy? What is her border policy? Even what is her policy on the Middle East? You wouldn't be able to get answers. The main focus of Harris voters is that Kamala Harris is not Donald Trump. And she has built a coalition of anti-Trumpers that stretch from Liz Cheney on the right, and Liz Cheney is right-wing Republican, right through to Bernie Sanders and AOC on the left. Now, that is a very broad coalition. The only thing that unites all of those people is that they despise Donald Trump. Whereas Donald Trump is focused on policies, lower taxes, less regulation. I don't agree with him, but he wants to introduce and increase tariffs. He wants to rebuild the border wall, and he wants to move illegals out of the United States. He wants to open up the energy opportunities of the United States. He actually has quite a wide policy platform. And so in response to that, you've got Elon Musk on one side of his support base, and you've got the Teamsters truck driving union, which has always supported the Democratic Party, on the other side. 70% of the members, truck drivers of America, most of them, if not almost all of them, have never gone to university. They're hardworking, blue-collar workers. 70% of the union members voted to support Donald Trump ahead of Harris. And so Trump's coalition is built on policy. Harris's coalition is built on not being Donald Trump.
Just finally, Joe, Trump is said to have targeted the young male voter through podcasts like Joe Rogan. But are female voters coming out to support Harris like the Democrats were relying on?
Well, you know, Shari, the thing is this. Donald Trump won more white women in 2016 than Hillary Clinton. He won the votes of more white women than Joe Biden in 2020. In both elections, they knew there was abortion under Donald Trump, with the Supreme Court appointed by the Republicans, would refer power back to the states. So the abortion policy was pretty settled. The question is, are those people now really changing on the issue of abortion? And what Harris is doing is she was targeting at first young people on campuses to get them to vote. But she has now changed tack and focused on young women. And what they've found is that all the Democratic efforts to win over young men were failing, and they were turning to Donald Trump. So there is a battle of the sexes in this election, more pronounced than almost any other election in American history. But I am still a little skeptical as to whether those issues that influence the sexual divide are going to be the issues that are actually going to materially change the level of support for Trump and Harris.
Well, Joe, I hope it's not a week-long wait for the results or more, as you've suggested. It'll drive us all crazy. Joe Hockey, thank you very much for your time.